Welcome to my Lace Maker software program here on Facebook Live. I'm Eileen Roach, founder of Designs in Machine Embroidery, and I am so excited to talk to you today about lace. I don't know if you've seen how much it's trending in both ready-wear and most certainly with machine embroiderers. So I'm going to share with you some tips on stabilizer, thread, the right needle, the kind of blank that you would look for, and then, of course, the beautiful embroidery designs that I'm going to tour you through my Lace Maker. And you have an opportunity to get a free demo of the software so that you can play with it also. So let's just kind of wait till people join and we can see how many are going to join us, and we'll welcome them one by one. And as we get started, I'm so excited to work here with my friend Kayla Gilchrist. She's my assistant here at the MAG, working behind the scenes at Facebook Live. I couldn't do it without her, so thank you, Kayla. So let's just go ahead and start talking about stabilizer, because that's the number one thing that you need to be successful in creating lace. The main goal is to have enough foundation for your lace and yet remove all of it after you rinse it away. You don't want to keep the stabilizer in the embroidery design itself. And there's three types of stabilizer that we normally use when we think about embroidering for lace. The number one that you may be most common with is water-soluble stabilizer, and that's a film type. You know, kind of resembles plastic wrap that you use to protect food. This is great as a topper. We don't really recommend it to use for creating the lace. What we like to use is water-soluble mesh stabilizer. This is a much sturdier base for your lace. As you can see, it has a kind of crisscross pattern, just like a mesh material would. And often we like to use 2 layers of this when we're doing heavy lace. Sometimes you also want to include the water-soluble adhesive stabilizer, because sometimes you need to stick something in the hoop, and again, that has to be, removed. So my Kayla's giving me some signs here, and she's telling me to read the comments, but I don't see any comments on my page, so she'll help me with that in a moment, I'm sure. Kayla, I don't see any comments here, dear. Oh boy, we sure learn as we go, that's for sure. This technology changes all the time, and today we're really going to be doing a lot. Not only are we going, Facebook Live, but we're also going to do a live software demo, which is so fun, and you're going to love seeing that. So now that you kind of know what kind of stabilizer that you need, the key is to be able to remove it after the embroidery and to provide enough foundation so that it will create a base for the stabilizer. The next is needles, and needles, you want a fine, sharp needle, a machine embroidery needle, and that will have a larger eye with an elongated shaft so that the decorative thread can travel through the eye of the needle. You'll see that it is really the right needle. Most embroidery needles are ballpoint needles, and they're best for knit fabrics, but for water-soluble, stitching a water-soluble and sharp needle would be best. So we have our friend Katharina from Germany. Well, hello, Katharina. I imagine Germany is the home of some very beautiful lace over there, and the European influence in embroidery is very strong here in America. So I'm sure you probably know just as much about embroidering lace as we do. Oh, and hey, Reen from Embroidery Garden is there. Hi, Reen, how are you? Thanks for joining me today. It's really nice to hear from you. And there's my sister Marie from Ohio, my stitching sister. She's on board. Hi, Marie. She's saying hi to Reen. Oh, Reen, your work recently has been fantastic. I see you on Facebook all the time. You have such a great following, and we love your work. So thank you for joining us here today. So let's see, back where we got to stabilizers and needle. Now I want to talk about thread, because normally what we embroider on is 40 weight polyester thread with high sheen, which I love, and you most certainly use for lace. But our bobbin thread can present a challenge. Many lace projects that you use have a wrong side that's visible at all times, so you have some options. You could wind a bobbin of the same 40 weight thread. It makes it a little bit heavier lace for sure. Or you could use a 60 weight polyester decorative thread that's often used for fine lettering, like micro lettering. You can find that in the same colorway often as a regular 40 weight. If you can't quite match it, that's okay. If you're stitching with a navy and you don't have a navy pre-wound, just come to a color that's fairly close to that. You just don't want to have that glaring black lace with a white bobbin. It will be visible. So be careful about that. Now, thread also makes it sing. I think when we think about lace, we often think about tone on tone. Like in this instance, it's a very elegant garment, and it's a boiled wool jacket with a lovely light pink lace design on the shawl collar. Very elegant, very tone on tone, very traditional. But it does not have to be that way for sure. So I like to go for contrast for sure, because I want people to see all the embroidery that I stitched. If I'm going to take that time, I want to make sure that they enjoy it as much as I did. So in this instance, I chose a silver thread to stitch on the denim. I could have chosen light blue, but boy, you probably wouldn't see it on camera. So it makes a nice large impact. Here we have a large medallion that's included in my lace maker software, the little black tee, and I definitely went for contrast here. It's still monochromatic, it's in the blue family, but it pops and it really does show. But if you want drama, it can most certainly be contemporary. It doesn't have to be traditional classic lace. It can be something really fun that you create in the software yourself. And my Lace Maker software gives you the ability to actually draw a skull face, something like this. In fact, it's a built-in shape in the software, and you just, with a couple clicks, load in the designs that you want to add to it. Now, I used a vintage thread here, and that vintage thread is a 40 weight thread that is a polyester, but it's a matte polyester. And let's see, so Reen wants to know, did I stitch that on tulle first on the jean jacket? I did not. I stitched that on 2 layers of water-soluble stabilizer, and the mesh that you see, let's see, on the pocket front, the pocket flap, and that yoke is a grid that the software automatically adds with just a click of a button, and I'll show you that in a couple minutes. So you do have an option of stitching on tulle, netting, or just using the built-in grid that's in the software. And when would you choose one over the other? Well, I would choose the grid that's in the software if I'm making a freestanding project. If it's something that I'm going to apply to a garment, then you really have the freedom of stitching on the fabric itself or adding tulle or netting, something like that. So the software also gives you the ability to create custom lettering. You just trace your 2 type text fonts. Where you see, it's really a lot of fun. Okay, so shall we go over to the software and take a look at it? Are we ready for that, you think, Kayla? Okay, so she's going to switch screens for me. And so now what you'll see is my Lace Maker software. My sister, she can't wait to try it. If I was a good sister, thumbs up from Nancy Myers or Marie Zeno. Can you tell me if you are? Marie just said she can't hear and either. Love that big letter. So many possibilities, Reen said. Okay, we're still trying to get our sound back up. Angela, oh, so Debbie House said Angela Wolf lost sound on her Facebook today. Well, I guess the gremlins in Facebook are giving us a little problem. Oh gosh, so what do? We're still trying. Somebody can hear, okay? They can hear now. Thank you so much for bearing with us. Okay, so we'll just kind of sound is back. Peggy, Rain, great. Thank you so much. So on your screen, you can see that I have chandelier earrings there. They're an embroidery design that's right in my Lace Maker software. Imagine if you just added a jewelry finding to it, and then you could add crystals to all those little openings in the center. Wouldn't that be really pretty? So let's go back into the library to look at some of the other lace. We'll take you into classic lace, and this is where our traditional lace designs reside. You'll see there are roses and leaves, branches and tulips and just ribbons and bows. So many beautiful designs that you can use to create your own embellishments. You'll notice that there's a gray design and then followed by beige design. So that means all of these smaller beige designs are actually inside that large medallion. So you can start with a large medallion and then build and build and build and make it bigger and bigger all along. So I'm going to go ahead and select this one lace design, and I will take that away from these chandelier designs, and we'll just delete them. And when I select that rose, I have a half rose. I'm going to rotate it to get it kind of straight, parallel on the screen. And then I will hit that carousel tool. And in that window, Kayla will change the letter from 7.57 to 6 in the width and 6 in the height. And it automatically changes that. And I click apply. And then there we have a circle of those flowers. Now, if I want to make a candle mat, I'll just go into the ellipse tool and I'll draw a circle. And I most certainly could reshape this so that it fits exactly where I want it. Now, you have to remember I am working on a mouse completely across the room, so you'll bear with me with my drawing skills. But with that artwork circle selected, I'll just click on the lace grid. And boom, there it is. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put that to the back. I'll send that backwards behind my pretty roses. And I'll change that color so it's all the same color. And isn't that beautiful? So with just a couple clicks, I was able to make that candle mat, which I just love that. I mean, boy, talk about a beautiful way to decorate a table. That's just gorgeous. So I'm going to go ahead and start a new folder and go back into the library because I want to show you some of the other embroidery designs that are in there. There's danglers, which are more small vertical embellishments that would be great hanging off a scarf. They would also be very good earrings. And then these larger ones up here are wonderful border designs. And then, of course, we have some designer collections. We can't forget about Angela Wolf. And if you purchase her design separately, then her design will load in here. So you can see all the elements of her designs, and they are just gorgeous. Now, remember, she's a fashion designer, so she intended her designs to be used to embellish garments, and we just love them. They're beautiful. And I don't know if you know it yet, but there's another designer on board, Kimber Bell. It has joined, and I'm not going to show you these yet because I know she's going to unveil them fairly soon, so we'll just wait. You know that fringe, that light pink jacket I showed you? Well, that's where you make the fringe. You can use one of these designs to make a fringe. And here is our little black tee. You know, the little black tee was a collection that we published many, many years ago, and it was so popular. We decided to include it in this software because so many people enjoyed it, and now that you can do so much more with it because it's in the software. Paisley lace borders. Let's go ahead and take a look at how beautiful these lace designs are. Aren't they just stunning? Beautiful. And you have placement marks in here, so you can add them on all four corners, making connecting embroidery so easy. All right, let's take a look at some of the other categories that are in here. Oh, the potpourri. This is also one of my favorites, and this is doing really, really well. I use this on so many different projects. You'll see snowflakes are included, and also little doodads and flourishes and swirls that you can use to make your own embroidery designs. This large grid here was what I used to make some very large letters, and lessons on that will be forthcoming, but oh, so much fun in here. Another favorite collection of mine is the sea, where we have seahorses, scalloped seashells, starfish, conch shells, and coral branches, an octopus, and an anchor. There is so much to play with here. Here's the examples that are already set in. Now, these are just ideas for you to kind of learn about how to use this software. They're already done. You'll see these three segments. We have the envelope 1, 2, and 3. Well, that is an envelope body and the backing and the flap. And of course, you would sew them together. Beautiful. Roy Garland, one of our developers, is a huge Frankenstein fan, so he made this Frankenstein face. Let's go ahead and open that up and take a look at that. Of course, that's going to load right on top of our border, so we'll remove that. Have fun. Isn't that great? So, you know, you could take any kind of artwork, any kind of photography, black and white, and just have some fun with it. All right, so what else do we want to show them in my lace maker? Is there anything that I've missed? Oh, somebody loves the sea. I don't blame you. I love those sea ones too. They are just gorgeous. And the sea collection, that's my favorite too. The visuals from the software is showing slower than Eileen speaking. Oh, yeah, well, Nancy, I am a Jersey girl, so that's kind of been my problem my whole life, I'll tell you. But I will try to slow down so that there is a delay, most certainly in Facebook Live. So I'll kind of slow down a little bit. I can try. But it's quite fun. And Reen, you're a fan of Frankenstein also. I'll pass on your comment to Roy. He'll enjoy hearing that for sure. So how about if we start a new screen, and I'm going to show you how you can take a one of the letters that are built in here, this letter M. And as you can see, I'll go ahead and put that into 3D. And so as you can see, there's a grid behind the satin outline, and then all these little embellishments were added from the Library of Design. So each of your letters, you most certainly can save that and then do a last initial or do an entire alphabet, but each one will have a custom look. Oh, fringe. Debbie, how you like the fringe? Yeah, it's really cool. The fringe is really, really cool. I like that too. Did you say lace from artwork? I did say lace from artwork. So let's go ahead and add another screen here. And we have shapes that are already built in. So we'll click on that, and we have quite a few categories here. You see we have some basic shapes that would make lovely bookmarks. So let's go ahead and select one, and we can resize that, you know, as big as we want. We can use the properties box and send in right over here, tell it what size we want it. But this is 4.5 by 6. That's close enough. So the first thing we want to do here maybe is go ahead and turn that into a grid. And then we could add a embroidery design to go on top. So let's go over to classic lace and find some kind of leaf. We'll just take this simple leaf. Now this wasn't rehearsed, folks, so bear with me, okay? You know how dangerous it is to do live software, but we'll just go ahead and we'll select the whole element and then click on Create Whole, and boom, there you have it. I gotta stop saying boom, but it's really, so I'm gonna go ahead and select this leaf and take it out so you can see there's a hole behind it. Isn't that awesome? So we'll go ahead and we'll put that back. And if I want to add a border around the actual outline, there's several ways to do it. So I'm just going to copy and paste that and then click on column connection, and that will put an outline around that whole border. And so there you have it. And each of those elements could be a different color. You have the control over that. So why don't I do that so you can see that they could each be a different color. You can control as much or as little as you want. Love that. I mean, there's so much fun things that you can do. This was all of these projects you will learn if you download the software yourself to play around. So the next thing that we want to do is take you over to a screen where you're going to see how you can download it. So take a look at this website up here. It's inspired by Dime /inspiration-software-download-center. We'll add this tag later on. Is that right, Kayla? Yeah. Okay. So that you can actually see it. So once you go there, you're going to see all of our software is here, and you just scroll to the bottom to access My Lace Maker. And when you click on it, it will download to your hard drive. And when it downloads to your hard drive, you can open it up and install it, but you will not be able to save any embroidery designs. So this is just a demo version for you. This is so that you can go in there and play and learn how to use the software. And then when you're ready to purchase, you would visit one of our dealers at Dime. And at the bottom of the screen, we have a dealer locator. It says click right here. And that's where you would find a dealer near you. Now, you probably are wondering why we don't sell this. We have a fantastic network of sewing machine retailers around the country who sell our product, specifically the software, so we are allowing them to sell it. So the next thing that you could do after, as you get to play with it, and if you're interested in actually seeing an event, we have an event that travels around the country at retailers all over America called the Camouflage with Lace event. And this is a 4-hour lecture demo event where you're really going to get to see all of the samples. You'll learn more about the software. You'll get specialty event pricing for sure. And a team of educators have been trained on this. They've been working with My Lace Maker for 5 months now, and they just cannot wait to share all this information with you. The specialty technique event also includes metallic thread stitching, puffy foam, and mylar, and how to digitize for all of those specific techniques, which is, a little bit tricky. It's not just like regular embroidery. Okay, so let's see. Think of all the wonderful things you can make for Christmas decor. Anne McCarthy says, yeah, I know, Christmas, right? Wow. And first off, just the tree itself, all the ornaments, and imagine, I know a lot of people like to wrap a gift and put a pretty bow on it and then attach a lace ornament so that it's kind of like a gift on a gift when they give it to someone. These types of ornaments are also great for group gifts. If you have a group of women or coworkers that, you want to remember at the holidays, these are great things to do in these smaller projects. So let's see. Any other questions? Wedding season. Oh, Marie. Yeah, she's my sister Marie in Ohio. She's a commercial embroiderer, so she's always thinking about wedding season, and that's the great time of year to add special touches, personal touches to weddings for sure. So do you know that we still have the lace contest going on? And you can, and that page is, let's see, can I bring this up? Let's see. Yeah, it's right here. Okay, so I teamed up with Angela Wolf. I already showed you, oh, there we go. I already showed you where her collection is loaded into the software. Of course, that's when you purchase it separately. But we have a contest, a dual contest that Angela and I are doing all month long. And we will pick the winners of a My Lace Maker software program and also a Angela Wolf collection. So that will be going on till May 1st. And that actually is the date of our next Facebook Live, which is May 1st. And I think Angela, I'm going to be on Angela's Facebook Live after or before I'm on my own Facebook Live, so we'll announce winners then. Okay, so do we have, I'm sure we have time for questions right now if anybody has any comments. But before we get to that, I want to share with you, you know, lace has an historical meaning, right, to many of us. As we look through the ages, lace started as a symbol of the monarchy and wealth, really. So many of that was done by hand. And another beautiful thing that I want to share with you that we published in the magazine starting in January this year. On the last page, we have what we call a peek into the past. So the cover that you're looking at now is our January, February issue. And that had a handkerchief, a handmade handkerchief on the last page that I wrote about. And this one, I have received a wealth of these hand embroidered gifts from my good friend, Richard Jardin at embroideryarts.com. And he gifted me over 500 hand embroidered handkerchiefs. And this is the very first one that we published. I just thought you would enjoy looking at the detail of this tiny monogram. Look how small these flowers are. And this was done by hand. Isn't that amazing? Just beautiful. I love that it's colorful. And I love how each flower is a little bit different than the other because it's not digitized. So for you as a digitizer, don't be so worried about making each one absolutely perfect because, you know, custom work is never identical to the one before it. In the last issue, in our March-April issue, I shared our another one that was probably, this is just luscious, this letter S. So let's take a closer look at this. So what do I love about this? Well, first off, it's two tones on the letter. It's a shadow white with a red bold that has some tiny little meshwork in the center and a satin column on the outside. This kind of reminds me of, it has a nautical flair. I think that this swoop of color, this blue here, is a beautiful blue, and it reminds me of a sail on a sailing ship. The circles, these tiny little eyelets that are stitched here, just lovely. Each element, so unique, so beautiful. I just absolutely love the work. Oh, and Debbie House says it would be a great birthday present for her on May 1st. Let's see, Arlene Sullivan wants to know how you can get My Lace Maker in Ontario. That's a good question. I think maybe we'll private Facebook you that later on. So Debbie, you're going to be 60 on May 1. Good for you. Happy birthday. And in Ontario, we don't actually have a dealer in Ontario right now, but we have some that are close, so we can connect you with a dealer. All you really need to do is communicate with them, and because it's downloadable, they don't even have to mail it to you. They can just send you the serial number. And here, let me show you what that would look like. So when you purchase My Lace Maker at a store, it comes in two versions. You have a card that is on display that shows people, you know, all of the features and benefits of the software. And then the CD is included in a box, and inside is a serial number in here that gives you the instructions for downloading it and entering the serial number so that it becomes active, and then you can save the work that you created. It's really easy to use, very user-friendly, and you know, we're going to continue to support it on and on, so it'll be a lot of fun. Okay, we have a, I can't quite read that, an hourly series, the hanky series, I'm sorry. So the handkerchiefs that you saw on the screen are going to be in every issue of Designs. And we're thinking about kind of doing an unveiling here on Facebook Live as time goes on, because I have 500, and boy, I don't think I can get 500 in the magazine. So wouldn't it be fun to just kind of open the box together and pull some out and explore them? So look for that fun event coming up on Facebook Live in the future. Okay, so remember to enter into the contest. We can't wait to see all of the entries, and we had 2 winners last time, and they absolutely loved it, and they're already using it. Does it integrate with embroidery, Perfect Embroidery Pro? It most certainly does. If you already have Perfect Embroidery Pro installed on your computer, this will integrate with it. And so it's a standalone software by itself for those of you who don't have that, but it works seamlessly with it if you do, which is something that I love. You know, of course, because it's such an affordable software, my lace maker software, it doesn't have all of the digitizing features that Perfect Embroidery Pro does have. So I use both of them back and forth. Like I have better drawing skills in Perfect Embroidery Pro because I can edit all of my artwork so much cleaner than I can in my lace maker. In my lace maker, I depend on those pre-drawn shapes that are in there. But you know, the sky's the limit, I'll tell you. And if you are an artist, well, you're in luck because then this is the software for you. So I hope to see you back here in 2 weeks because I'm excited to come back and do our May 1st and visit with Angela, and who knows what else we'll have in store here, right? Kayla, anything else? She's giving me a thumbs up. She's telling me I should probably wrap it up. So thank you for joining me. I really had a fun time today, and see you on May 1st.